Unit 5. Reading. The Life and Works of Roger McGough. Roger McGough is a well-known and popular British poet. He was born in Liverpool on the 6th of November 1937. He studied French at the University of Hull and he worked in the library there. At that time, the university librarian was Philip Larkin, another British poet. McGough didn't stay in Hull. In the early 1960s, he returned to Liverpool and worked as a French teacher. It was an exciting time to be there. McGough met the pop band The Beatles, and they became friends. The Beatles were making Liverpool very popular. He also met two musicians called Mike McGear and John Gorman, and they formed a comedy band called The Scaffold. They had some hit albums. Their song, Lily the Pink, was number 1 in the British charts in 1968. McGough wrote many of their songs, but they didn't have another number 1. He also wrote a lot of the script in the Beatles' funny movie, Yellow Submarine. McGough published 2 best-selling books of poems with Adrian Henry and Brian Patten. These 3 poets were called the Mersey Poets because they were all from Liverpool and the river there is called the Mersey. Many books of poems followed. A very famous one in 1967 was called The Mersey Sound, and it is still popular today. McGough still writes for adults and children. He loves playing with words, and his poems are often very witty. He now presents a BBC radio programme called Poetry Please. Listeners write to McGough and ask to hear their favourite poems, old or new. Here is one of Roger McGough's poems. Poem for a Dead Poet. He was a great poet, he was. A proper poet. He said things that made you think, and said them nicely. He saw things that you or I could never see, and saw them clearly. He had a way with language. Images flocked around him like birds. St. Francis he was, of the words. Words? Why, he could almost make 'em talk.